Welcome back. So we're seeing a lot of marketing lately around financial advice and retirement planning, things like hitting your retirement number and what it means to be a fiduciary. We've heard that word a lot. But what are the qualities of a good financial advisor? My guest is Mark Henry, who's a radio host and also practices in Charlotte, North Carolina. Mark, thanks for joining us. What are some of the qualities that you obviously have of a good financial advisor?
Sure, Scott. One of the things I always say is, regardless of your location, when you start the search for a new financial advisor, or maybe your first financial advisor, start with a fiduciary. That's the first thing, someone that's licensed to do what's in your best interest. From there, I always say, number two might be, let's look for a fee-based advisor versus a commission-based advisor. So a fee-based advisor is going to charge a percentage of the assets they manage, and they'll charge a percentage. Hopefully that'll be a monthly fee. Take the fee for the year, divide it by 12, and you're charged monthly. That way, if you ever leave, you leave during a quarter, let's say, if you have quarterly billing, you've now paid for the whole quarter. If an advisor is willing to do monthly, you're under no contract. You can leave whenever you want, and you've only paid for the time you were there.
Mark, you are an independent advisor. Talk about some of the advantages of working with someone who is independent.
So when you hear that word, fiduciary that's also independent, think of it this way. Let's say they weren't independent, they worked for XYZ company. Well, if Mr. X came in this week and said, make sure you show everybody that comes in today this. Well, it may or may not be in the client's best interest, but if Mr. X from XYZ company has said, show it to the person, guess what's going to happen? They're going to see it, even if it might not be the best fit for them. When you work with an independent, that won't happen because an independent is truly a fiduciary and they're required to do what's in a client's best interest.
So Mark, talk about financial planning versus retirement planning.
Sure, Scott. You know, when you hear that word a lot of times, advisor and financial planners, typically, unfortunately, what really is happening is they're looking at your portfolio, you're making XYZ, come over to this company, we'll do better. That's not financial planning. Financial planning is when you have a roadmap that takes into account taxation, it takes into account inflation, it runs the plan all the way to age 95 for the youngest person in the relationship. And the goal here is to see how do we do this life, retirement, heading into retirement and retirement, how do we do it and make sure we don't run out of money at age 95. It's not a matter of just saying, oh, I've got a 401, I've got a Roth, I have an IRA, I have a brokerage account. Look at me, I'm good. No, you take all that, you put it in a true financial plan, and you run that plan all the way to age 95, and now we have a roadmap of success.
Well, finally, if someone is looking for the right advisor, what questions should they be asking?
So, obviously, number one, are you a fiduciary? Are you independent? Are you fee-based? How are you paid? Show me exactly. Are you hybrid? Do you get some fees, some commissions? You want to see that behind the thing. And don't be afraid to ask those questions.
Great, Mark. Thank you so much.
Scott, always a pleasure.
That's Mark Henry in Charlotte, North Carolina, and thank you for watching Retirement News Online.